To start the skirt part of the dress, we change from a 3mm hook to a 5mm hook, and then we turn our top to the back side and mark the middle stitch. So I've already marked my middle stitch right here. So after marking the third stitch, we get the gray yarn, make a slip knot, and attach it at the point where the middle stitch is. So get our top, remove the stitch marker, and put the hook through. Then slip stitch. Next we chain one and go back into that stitch with a single crochet. So we're only going to be working these stitches at the middle of, like we have two ridges right here. The stitch at the middle, it's the only stitch that we're going to be working. So it's like we're going to be skipping a stitch. So after the single crochet, in the next stitch right here, we work 3 double crochets in the same stitch. And this is what we're calling a shell stitch, and hence the reason I'm calling this dress a shelly dress, because we're going to make it using shells. Next we move on to this point and put a single crochet, then to the next with 3 double crochets, so since we had worked the waistband using a 3mm hook, you might find that you're forcing your 5mm hook into the stitches. There's no problem, just go ahead and force your hook through to the end of the first row and you'll be good to go. Then we've done the single crochet. Next we do the shell stitch. And this is simply what we're going to be doing to the end of this round. So we put a shell stitch and alternate with a single crochet. So after the single crochet, you put 3 double crochets. Then a single crochet and a 3 double crochets. So work this round to the end, and I'll meet you at the end of round 1. Then I'll show you how to begin round 2. I'm at the end of round 1 and I'm supposed to skip this stitch, then go into this one with a single crochet. But since we had started with a single crochet, we cannot end with a single crochet because we should have alternate stitches. So instead of skipping this one, I'll go straight here with a single crochet, then onto this last stitch with a shell stitch. And then I'll complete the round by slip stitching on top of the single crochet. For round 2, we need to change from gray to the mustard yarn. So after chaining one, I pull this yarn up, then get the gray ball and pass it through this gapping. Then make a knot like that. Then turn your work, get the mustard yarn, make a slip knot, and attach it at the point where you've made the slip knot. that is on top of the single crochet from the previous round. So we attach the end right there, chain 1, and now wherever we had a single crochet, we're going to put a shell stitch there. So right there, we're going to put 3 double crochets. Then we move on to the previous shell stitch. We get the middle stitch, so we have stitch 1, 2, and 3. The second stitch right here, we put a single crochet on top of it. Then on top of the single crochet, we put 3 double crochets. On the second stitch of the shell stitch, we put a single crochet, 3 double crochets on top of the single crochet. A single crochet onto the middle stitch or the second stitch, 3 double crochets, and we alternate to the end. At the end of round 2, we slip stitch on top of the double crochet from the first shell right here. And as you do that, carry your gray yarn because you're going to work with it next. So like this, slip stitch onto that first double crochet, then slip stitch onto the second double crochet, chain 1, pull the yarn, get the ball, and pass it through. Then switch over to the gray yarn, turn your work, put the hook through that second chain on the shell stitch, the second stitch, chain 1, go into that stitch with a single crochet, go on top of the single crochet with 3 double crochets, then a single crochet, 3 double crochets onto the previous single crochet, a single crochet on top of the shell stitch, the second chain, 3 double crochets, the second stitch, single crochet, 3 double crochets onto the single crochet, and alternate to the end. At this point, I'm done in round 3, so I slip stitch on top of the single crochet while making sure that I slip stitch over the mustard yarn. Make a slip stitch, chain 1, pull, and pass the ball through the gray ball, and make a knot. To start round 4, we switch over to the mustard yarn and turn. So we work round 4 the same way we worked round 2. Round 5 is worked the same way we worked round 3. So the odd rows are worked the same, the even rows are worked the same. And we're going to work alternating rows or alternating rounds for a total of 40 rows. Well, I'm going to do 40 rows because I want my dress above the knee, slightly above the knee. So depending on the length that you want for your skirt or for your dress, work the desired number of rounds, and I'll meet you at the end and show you how to do the edging of the dress. So at this point we chain 1, and because we're on top of the single crochet, we work 3 double crochets. On top of the second double crochet, a single crochet, 3 double crochets on top of the single crochet, and keep going until you have the number of rounds that will give you the length that you want for your skirt. I'm done with my 40 rounds, and this is what I have for the skirt. So at the end of the 40th round, I've chained 1 and cut off the mustard yarn. So now we switch over to the gray yarn, and for the edging we only work in the single crochet stitches alone. We do not work on the shell stitches. So right here I'd slip stitch onto the first row, onto the first double crochet. So I'm going to slip stitch until I get to where the single crochet is. So slip stitch down to where the single crochet starts. So right here is where we have the single crochet, slip stitch there, chain 1 and turn. So we have a chain 1, so we add 2 more for a total of 3, 2 and 3. Go into that single crochet with 3 double crochets. After working this first shell, we skip over to the next single crochet right here and slip stitch, then chain 3, go back into the single crochet with 3 double crochets. Skip over to the next single crochet right here, slip stitch, chain 3, work 3 double crochets. Skip over, slip stitch, 3 double crochets, 3 chains, 3 double crochets. And we're going to repeat this to the end of the round. At the end of this round, we slip stitch on top of the first single crochet, then slip stitch at the middle of the first chain 3 stitch, chain 1, cut off the yarn and fasten, and we are done. So this right here is our beautiful dress. This is the skirt part, and this is the top part of the dress. It's very, very beautiful. So if you've liked this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Also remember to comment, share and subscribe, and remember to tag me onto your projects so that I can see how you've recreated this particular dress. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.